We don't have a funny intro yet. We've got to keep vamping here.
Oh, what kind of funny intro are you looking for, man? How about
someone say something kind of vaguely offensive, and then we'll go, wait.
Let me take the pillows off of this.
That's the kind of gold we're looking for.
The acoustics in the bathroom.
Sheyn, the best part is we can't see what you're sitting on. So if you're sitting on the toilet and we hear a flush midstream, we'll just assume you took a dookie.
What up, peeps? Welcome to the Joey Podcast, the mountain bike podcast with one guy who doesn't know how to set up his suspension ever. I think we all know who that is. One guy is way too scared to go fast anymore, and one guy who just built up a new bike. But we won't be talking about it because gear talk, blah, 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 blah.
That's too much gear talk already.
It's really, we just don't want to hear more sponsored talk from Paul, but gear talk as well.
It's referring to you.
Oh, what?
Everyone has a new bike. Everyone has gear. And like everyone and their mom, we are mountain bike YouTubers. We decided we should start a podcast where we don't talk about bikes, just the adventures that they take us on. Is that corny?
That sounds pretty cheesy, but let's go with it.
That's actually really good. I really like that.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, I enjoy that so much.
So good. It just needs some spaghetti slurpage. Today on the show, we have with us the world famous Josh, the daily MTB rider.
Hey, what's up? It's me.
And oh gosh. And the Australian famous Paul the punter.
I am not Australian. Stop it. This meme needs to stop immediately.
I gave you a line. You need to read it.
Every time you say this
I'm
meme
not saying that.
Paul, every time you say this meme needs to stop, it's just going to continue on more and more.
Okay, Josh, you can be Paul tonight. I'm going to redo the intro. The Australian famous Paul the punter.
Oh, crikey, mate.
Perfect.
Does that mean I can do Sheyn?
Yeah,
I wanted to do Sheyn.
It.
I have the snacks for camera. Come on, guys.
Oh my God,
this is the longest
voice ever. You're doing the introduction. Stop eating.
Oh, and I'm Sheyn, the crashing dad.
3 out of 4 weeks. You missed it last week, but you redeemed yourself.
Yeah, I know. Today we're going to start off with questions and comments from last week's episode. What do you think about that? I think it's a good segment.
Sheyn, you're driving this vehicle of death.
I'm driving it raw.
You may as well do whatever you want.
So firstly, Michael Cunningham and Chump MTB want us to do this live. What do you think?
Two completely polar opposites of names, by the way. Like Michael Cunningham of the Cunningham Estates here in Downton Abbey.
If it said Michael Cunningham the Fifth, and then it was like, and then it was,
it is Michael. It is. That's what we should say.
And if it was like Chumpy MTV, then it would be polar opposites. This is like pretty close though. Like it's pretty good. Do it live. I guess we record live. Like I don't know. Logistically, we could do it, but would it be as entertaining?
No, it'd be rubbish. Like, what's the point? Like, sorry to cut you down so brutally, Michael Cunningham the Fifth, but it's like we record it and we put it up, and then you can watch it. If it was live, we wouldn't look at the chat. Yeah, which is the whole point of doing a live stream.
Yeah,
it's like interaction.
And if we did it. Once we do record it, then Paul does a lot of work to edit it down so that it's not full of rubbish and just a bunch of empty space, which is very nice. And most people don't want to listen to that. So
and also we say so many offensive things that we really have to cut out for the sanctity of our lives.
I mean, mainly Sheyn. He's got to keep his image up.
I think you're giving Paul too much credit here. I think he just takes a little bit off the front and off the back. Come on.
It's pretty much just like a light trim.
Just a light trim.
Unless I kind of make a mental note like, oh, wait, something offensive about 35 minutes. Take that out. But so far, we've been pretty good.
So Michael Cunningham the Fifth and Chumpy MTB, no, we will not do it live. We don't apologize either.
And until we get to 1 million subscribers, then we'll do a live tour. There you go. That's the goal.
Million.
That's the goal.
Deal.
Oh. And we also, so last week's episode was about mountain biking and losing weight and why or why not. Mainly why not for me and probably for Josh too, as he drinks his sugar water.
Oh, come on, dude. I never drink sugar water. I always drink the one, the only Kirkland Signature Sparkling Water Lemon.
Brought to you by
the 5th brand of sparkling water you've even mentioned on this podcast. It's episode 5.
Because, guys, I buy them all when they're cheap because I'm the cheapest man alive.
Oh, man. Well, okay. So Luis Figueiredo.
I fully rate that as Lou Ferrigno.
Lou Ferrigno. Okay, so
who is the Hulk?
He totally commented on our podcast and on
maybe
YouTube.
It is.
No,
it looks exactly like it.
No, it doesn't. Nobody
Lou
can see this. So keep
Louis
going.
Figueiredo de Gallo or something. I don't know.
Paul saying this is back to Paul saying Pico de Gallo is Pico de Gallo. Sorry, Shane, keep
Pico
going.
de Gallo. I'm gonna give a good stab at this. Luis Figueiredo.
It was a little
never mind.
Spanish. Yeah.
Well, okay, so he brings up a good point. Like trying to lose weight mountain biking. He compared it to like plenty of dudes trying to get swole at the gym who sit around half the time texting. Which you totally see if you go to the gym, the dudes on their phone. Yeah. And it kind of makes me think, like, do I doink around too much on my mountain bike rides to lose weight?
And just to clarify, the guys on their phone at their gym, there's like 2 like different people. The first is the guy who's like always texting, like trying to convince you he has friends outside of the gym when we know he doesn't. And then the other guy is taking pictures of himself in the mirror to convince you he has followers on Instagram, which we know he doesn't. So both are just insecurities. Am I right?
But how do you know these guys at the gym?
Because I've been both of them, obviously.
Judges in the mirror, just like, oh yeah, Lou Ferrigno is
my wife's gonna think I look so swole right now. I have to try to convince her otherwise. So anyway, so is he saying like, hey, guys are messing around in the gym all the time. If we messed around more mountain biking, would we look more swole, or do we have to stop?
No, you got it the other way around. It's like there's people in the gym not focused on what they're meant to be doing. They're doing it passively, which is, I actually think that's quite a fair observation, and I somewhat agree with it.
Yeah.
Like if you got to go out and like be focused. If you want to lose weight, you got to be focused on losing weight, I think.
And that's
if I have to choose, I think I'd rather doink around.
That's like the culture that is mountain biking, right? Like every guy seen Bellingham has like 2 beers in his fanny pack on his way up. Like he's just in it for a good time and to mess around with his buds more than get swole.
But I say around here, it's quite a competitive. It's weird. Like it's quite a competitive thing. There's definitely talk of this like Squamish anxiety or like, I don't know, some other word for it. But everyone's obsessed with trying to go fast or be better or like, and it's completely true. And I also am trying to do that. But there's loads of people that just go up and like drink beers while they shuttle and stuff. But yeah, I'm definitely focused. Do you know that race I did on Saturday? I just discovered it was the BC Marathon Championships. It was like, I was like, oh, it's just this race in my town. I'm going to go and enter it. Turns out it was the provincial championships for it.
Paul, you're speaking Spanish to me. Translate.
So Canada is divided into multiple provinces.
Wait, where's Canadair? I've heard of Canada, but I've never been to Canadair.
God. Anyway, but yeah, I think
I'm still lost, Paul. You haven't answered my question.
Oh, you were serious? I thought that was like a bit.
No,
it was a bit. I'm off the cuff. Like
there's somebody listening going, no, seriously, where's Paul talking about? And I'm speaking up for that guy.
It's it'd be British Columbia, which is on the west coast of Canada.
Oh, so it makes it Canada.
Squamish is the town that I live in, which is close to Vancouver, which is a large city in Canada.
Perfect. Thank you, Paul. But anyway, what's this BC Marathon? Just mended it together.
No, this is the race I did the weekend, but I feel like we're jumping ahead a segment. So I don't want to. I tried to bring it back round to the question, but then you yoinked me in the opposite direction.
Please don't talk about me yoinking you ever. I don't know what that means in Australian, but that's not good. Anyway.
Okay. What's Shane brings?
Well, okay, so like I'm just reading the comments. You know, people want to be heard. They want to have their name said, but there's way too many on this. There's basically a general opinion poll going on as to whether I should bring my second dinner to podcast, and people guessing what it will be this time. And I don't know if it's going to make the intro, but this time it's spaghetti. Quinoa spaghetti.
That does actually look delicious.
So good.
Did you say spaghetti or spaghetti?
Spaghetti. Like giddy up. Spaghetti up.
Oh, okay.
What do you think it'll be next time? Let us know in the comments below.
Such a good call to action. What will Sheyn's second dinner be? The big question.
Yeah, which brings us to comments. A comment from, what is that? Yippee-ki-yay. F. Oh, yippee-ki-yay, mother.
No. This is family friendly. If we're meant to sell out
edit
here.
it. Edit it. Okay.
Oh, God.
His thing was classic Stitch Up Boys, which we don't really have an intro. So comment an outro. We don't really have an outro. So comment what you think our super professional sponsored outro should be and get a chance to have us say your name live on the airways next week, but not live.
But not live, but recorded.
Yeah.
But live to us right now.
Recorded at one point live. That's pretty cool.
Nice. So what's the classic Stitch Up Boys in reference to? Is that because there's a comma at the end of the
It's comment? The way that we ended it last week.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay, bye. Yeah.
Oh, of course. I see.
Which I do kind of like.
Yeah.
Wait, do you have an intro? Do you have an intro now? Have you written an intro?
I don't know. Maybe I should. Should I write one right now?
He's getting ready for the next segment.
I'm getting ready for the next segment.
Another page. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so we start out with comments from last week, and then we're going on to... Is it you? Is it me? It's the Joey of the week.
Oh, that was so perfect.
All right.
Part of me thinks we need to record it, but the other part of me just loves watching Sheyn do it live every week.
And most of me really enjoys the fact that I don't have to edit it and find out where we talked about it. So this is great.
Well, I don't know. Getting a sample of your music degree last week was a little bit painful, so I had to make room in my car for the guitar.
It was my first performance in a number of years. There were a lot of emotional butterflies going on.
Well, okay, so Joey of the week. Who, what, when? Is it Aaron Gwynn?
Aaron Gwynn again.
That always needs to be our intro. Like after you do the intro, all right, boys, who, what, when, or Aaron Gwynn? Who was the Joey of the
week? Right. Who, what, or Aaron Gwynn?
I don't think Aaron Gwynn did anything Joey worthy this week, but I think I'm gonna nominate myself maybe for 2 things. We'll see. I don't know if anyone else has a nomination, but so last week, I think it was last week or maybe the week before, we talked about racing, and I did my first enduro race, and I felt pretty good. I was training, going fast on my local trails. I did kind of mess up the race 30 seconds in, it crashed. But ever since then, going out on all those same trails, I don't know what it is. I'm stumbling over my pedals. I can't ride them. I can't ride my trails anymore. There's just something so weird about messing up the race. And now I was yeah, I'm super fast, but now I can't even touch my old times. I'm super awkward.
Oh no!
I went out with friends.
This is a Joey experience. This is a deep emotional experience that we're going to have to really unpack as a group. And
this trauma in your life, emotionally and physically, reverted you back to your full Joey-ness, right?
I think that's what it is. I totally reverted.
Wow. Do you know what it is?
Can we get emotional? Hey, listen, help me.
Listen, you know what's happened? You were fine before you bought the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle suit. You were fine.
Oh.
And you bought the Joey costume, and you have become a Joey.
Wait, I missed this. Sheyn, explain this Teenage Mutant Ninja
it was
Turtle.
my ninja suit. Remember the
the G-form.
Yeah, the G-form, head to toe. Brought to you by G-form.
No, we're not. Sheyn, you can't do that yet.
You can edit it
about this.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Just bleep that out. They won't know what sponsor he said.
Oh, it would take me so long to find this.
Paul's I have to listen to this whole thing again. Anyway, Sheyn.
Seriously, though, I don't know. So that's kind of me being a Joey. And, it made me kind of think, am I being a Paul? And do I not know how to set up my suspension?
Oh,
and so,
oh my God, this was you? The intro was talking about you?
No, it was totally talking about you.
Okay. Well, I was concerned for a minute. That's my thing.
Be me, but I thought about it, and I've been writing. Okay, so I've been writing this transition smuggler, and I know I have to say transition because transitions are different. I've been writing it for 400 plus miles, which is 600 plus kilometers.
Thank you.
And I was just running regular 30% sag, 25 to 30% sag. But apparently everyone knows, except for me, the stupid Joey, that you gotta ride 35 to 40% sag on a transition.
No, 40%, just 35.
No, 35, 35 to 40. I don't know. Okay, so I bumped it to 35, and it's like a different bike. I've been riding a bike the way that it should not feel for 600 plus kilometers. So I don't know. Maybe I could blame my Joey-ness on the dumb suspension setup on my part.
No, I think that's fine. You can actually get away with doing it on those bikes.
But it feels so much better at 35.
It's probably because have you ever popped the air canister off?
No.
So there's probably 2 spaces in there. And when I had mine, I actually took one of those spaces out and had one. And then I think I had mine at 30%.
Okay, we're talking about gear.
I was just gonna say, for all the crap you guys give me for talking about gear, you're going like head first into the deep end on suspension setup.
This is bigger than that. This is bigger than all of it. This is Sheyn having a crisis on trail. We can't let one of our own fall down. We've got to bring him back up.
We need like a dramatic synth pad playing over this segment of sadness for Sheyn.
Oh my god, we definitely need some sort of soundboard that we can. We need some strings starters, a nice little quartet potentially.
Oh yeah. They'll fit in my bathroom shower right here behind me.
They're standing behind. That's who it is. And the quartet is here.
Now, Sheyn, I wouldn't call that a Joey of the week. As more of just a depression, in general. Paul,
take it.
That was so harsh, and I didn't mean it to be. Paul, do you have any Joey moments from the week?
Guys, I feel like I'm letting the slide down, because I don't think I've been messing up this week.
Well,
I've had quite a clean week. And
that's. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, I was just going to say that's how you set yourself up for next week, because when you say stuff like that, the inevitable happens.
No.
But I think I hands down won the Joy of the week. I even mentioned it on Instagram. So you should make sure you follow all 3 of us on Instagram so you can see when Joy of the weeks happen. My wife and I went on a trip down south to visit her parents. We went to the zoo with my son, but of course I was going to go on a mountain bike ride. And so I packed up all my stuff. I overpacked for mountain biking. I show up and I realize, oh no, I've forgotten my mountain bike shorts. Except I actually didn't pack any pants or shorts at all, except the ones I was wearing. And so therefore I had to go buy a pair of shorts. So I picked just a bike shop that I knew would have mountain bike shorts and dropped $100 on a pair of shorts in order to go riding that day, which isn't that bad because they're nice shorts and I needed them.
Okay. Where is this going? I'm trying to piece it together in my brain. But I can't. You've got me on the hook, Josh.
And nothing happened with the shorts. They worked out fine. But the joy moment was not only did I forget my shorts, but then I showed up to the trail, started riding, and then realized, man, I'm getting real thirsty. And I totally forgot my water bottle in my bike, and then realized I totally forgot a water bottle altogether. And then I needed my tool on the trail and did not put the tool in my pocket that I left in the car. So it was just like Joey move after, I forgot my shorts. I didn't pack water. I didn't put the tool in my pocket. I was like, is this my first time doing this? Because it sure feels like it right now. So
I can just imagine the gaper's gap in between those shorts and your pads.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wait, why would there be a gaper's gap on my new shorts?
Well, I don't know. Maybe you didn't think about it. That would also be a Jerry move. You were having a Jerry calamity day.
I literally bought the best shorts that I've ever bought, and I will not say what brand they are because somebody is going to get all excited because they might be sponsored by them. But anyway.
Brought to you by.
Did you buy Scott shorts?
No, I would never buy crappy shorts. Just kidding. Scott's awesome. No, they don't sell Scott sportswear like in the States, I feel like.
They must do because they're available on, I think you can buy them online even. But
yeah, but I've never seen Scott clothing in a bike shop. I actually don't know any shops that sell Scott bikes.
No, I honestly, I know we're getting off topic and I don't know. Because I know what I'm about to do and I'm going to stop myself from doing it because this is the Jerry podcast, not
brought to you by. Hey, I've never seen the Scott stuff in stores, even with stores that sell the Scott bikes. But I will say, if you watch BKXC's Japan video.
Oh,
yeah.
How good are these videos, by the way?
So good.
I just want to go. If anyone wants to go to Japan, let's go.
You know what? Let's get a trip sponsored to Japan from our podcast. How about that?
Oh my God. Can you imagine? That would be so good. But we need to be so much bigger. We need to be like 30 times the size, I think, before we can get that.
Well, I think that's a great point that if you're listening to this, we need your help. Please click subscribe, follow, give us some ratings on Apple Podcasts, anything you can do to help out the Joey podcast.
And tell a friend. That's what we need. We need tell a friend. That's what we need.
So did we decide who gets the Joey of the week?
I don't know. Yours is too deep and emotional. So surely someone in like the public. Well, I don't know. Did you watch the Crankworks slopestyle event by any chance?
What's that?
So it's when they do the tricks on the jumps and the stunts and the spinneroos and everything.
Sheyn, you knew what that was.
Is it Nikolai Rogatkin?
He was there. Yes.
He's the one that I know. The one name.
He actually had a really unfortunate crash, which was like he crashed on the second jump, and he's such a people pleaser. He was just like, "No, I'm gonna give the fans what they want. They came here," and everyone's like, "Yeah, sick!" And then he comes up to the jump, just raging, fires straight back in on the next one, and definitely knocked himself out.
Oh no!
It was brutal. He was like, but then you don't know because sometimes he's like lying on the floor and he's not moving, and then the paramedics rush over and he's like, "No, I'm fine." It's like, well, we didn't know, Nikolai. You were lying on the ground, not moving.
Yeah.
I think there's a Joey nomination in there somewhere. No, he's not a Joey.
He's fine. However, so this other chap, Emil Johansson, just came back from like an horrific story. I highly recommend watching the mini documentary on Red Bull TV. It's really good. He had like this, like a chronic, it was so complicated. It's easier to watch the half an hour show to explain it. But anyway, he comes back, lands this like incredible run. And then on the last jump, he lands this insane trick but lands too far to the left and rides straight into the barrier and launched himself over the top of said barrier. But they were like, it doesn't count as a crash because you only crashed because of the barrier. And then he went into the lead.
So he landed and they counted the land.
Wow.
Yeah, he landed, but he was riding off the side of the jump. However, he just smashes into the barrier, flies straight over the top, which is pretty funny. And then the winner, I know spoilers, but whatever. The winner, he lands his big trick, and then he misses his pedals a little bit, and his ass or his butt lands on his rear tire, which pulls his pants down.
Yes.
And his bare rear end was live on the street.
But he won.
But he won. Yeah. But it was just like the people that finished first and second both ended with like these embarrassing moments.
I'm just saying, if you can plan a trick where you moon the crowd on the final jump, like that's like more impressive than just doing it normally.
You're drawing me in. I need to go look this up.
It was pretty good. It was
all
right. That's what I'd say.
So who wins Joy of the Week? Is it me?
Is it you? Is it Aaron Gwynn?
Is it Joey of the Week?
You know what? I think this week we give it to Josh, but let's throw it out to the comments below.
Yeah. Does anyone know any other Joeys?
Joey of the Week, and we can bring it up next week. And we will say your name. We will mess up your name on next week's podcast.
Much like Destiny's Child. Say my name.
I think I kind of have a Joy of the Week. It's another YouTuber who is just at my house. I don't know if this would count. You guys want to hear this?
Is it our favorite couple?
Yep.
Brilliant. Yes, definitely want to hear it.
Yeah. I think the Joy of the Week, everybody. I'm just gonna make this declaration. I think you'll agree. Is Mo Awesome from Awesome MTV when he texts?
He gets it.
Yep. When he texts me,
done.
That's it.
Period. Yep. Okay. Cool. Moving on. Just kidding. When he texts me, Josh, can I borrow your hardtail? Which Mo is 6'2". I'm 5'9". Mo rides an extra large. I ride mediums. Mo is getting a new bike, but sold his bike weeks ago and has been bikeless and literally has run out of places to in a cheap manner borrow bikes from. And so he said, can I borrow your hardtail? That's too small for me. And I said, Is it you or is it me? Because you're the Joey of the week, Mo. Don't worry, guys. He picked it up, and we'll see if it comes back broken or perfect.
He's actually got it. Wow. Can't wait to see that.
Yeah, and he wants to go ride some gnarly trails up in BC on it. I said, have fun.
No, he's not. Well, we'll see.
That'd be interesting.
We'll see. And he can't remember the last time he rode a hardtail, so anything's possible.
If he puts out the video saying I rode Whistler on a hardtail, I can't wait. That's gold clickbait. But anyway,
so did you ride with him? Where did we ride this week? Where did your bikes take you with Mo Awesome?
Yeah, so I did not ride with Mo this week. We're actually going to ride tomorrow. Fun segue. I rode 4 times this week, which is pretty good. So one, maybe it was 5. Anyway, one was like a pretty lame trail down south in the Seattle area called Paradise. It's just kind of cross country, but they have 1 or 2 jump trails. That was fine. I rode
Mai Tais.
Mai Tais.
Yeah. And Paradise.
Oh, Paradise. Yes. There's Mai Tais flowing everywhere.
And cross country.
Yep. Then I rode a trail here in Bellingham called Brown Pow. It used to be a loamer, but now it's sanctioned and they're working on it. It's a super gnarly trail and a lot of fun. So I rode that twice, which is good. But the most fun ride this week was I was down at Duthie Hill. Paul, have you been to Duthie Hill?
No, but I very much want to.
Yeah. So
when it comes to Hucktober, I will head down, I imagine.
Yeah. Is Hucktober a thing? What is that?
It's the month after Shredtember.
Okay, that makes sense.
I did not know that.
Thanks for clearing. Thank you for clarifying, Paul.
October makes so much sense though, because it's the end of the season almost. And it's like, oh, if I get hurt, what's going to happen?
Now's the time to break a collarbone.
Who cares? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Crabapple hits on my unicycle. Anyway, so I went down to Duthie Mountain Bike Park. And the coolest part was there's another really small YouTube channel I know, and it's a dad and his 8-year-old son. Well, he was turning 9, and this kid shreds. Like he sends harder than Paul and Sheyn,
likely,
and me combined. Anyway,
is it one MTB?
No, different kid. Okay. No, he's not in Washington. So it was his 9th birthday. So I went to Duthie Hill.
Come on, give him a shout out. I want to know.
Oh, it's a Backyard Shredder. So if you look
Backyard Shredder, yeah.
So they'll be in the video with me. So I showed up, surprised Jake. That was the kid's name. I was like, Jake, do you want to be in a video with me for your birthday? He's like, yeah. And he turned 9, and this kid is sending 30-foot doubles like it's nothing. Like it's insanely awesome. And like fully a 9-year-old, right? Like just life is easy, no worries at all. Just all about like impressing his buddies and like being like hilarious. And it made my week to go ride with him. And his dad said, dude, all Jake could talk about was how awesome his birthday was, like having you and all of his buddies. And it was awesome, dude.
That's pretty cool that you're now doing birthday parties. So please email dailymtbrider@gmail.com for appearances at your kid's birthday.
And believe it or not,
$3.99.
This is the second time in the last 2 months I've gone and ridden with a subscriber on their birthday. So please email me. Rates are starting at $3 every 3 days. All right.
That is awesome. No, that's cool that you got to see that in person, because I've seen him on the Instagrams, and he, like you said, 30-foot doubles, 9-year-old kid, 8-year-old kid on the Instagrams.
Yep.
I'm going to say shameless shout out to Backyard Shredder.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to shout him out all over the channel. But now they're on our podcast.
Could you say shameless?
Shameless? Well, it would have to be one of you two without me.
Shameless.
We're saying shameless. We're trying to be shameless riding.
Enough of these Sheynanigans.
Yes. All right, Sheyn, where did you ride?
Oh, this week. Well, I got out thrice times this week.
Ooh. Yes. I don't speak Australian. How many is that?
I'm just trying to translate for Paul.
How is that Australian?
I got out 3 times this week.
You first stupid 2 umbrellicans.
The first 2, they were my sad, depressing ones. I was still having fun. Any day on the bike is a great day, but they were just on my local trails, me sucking super hard. And then this week, I am in a little podunk town where if you blink in Colorado and drive by it, you'll miss it, called Meeker. Meeker, Colorado. And there's no one here. But apparently, when there was an oil and gas boom, the property values rose like crazy. The population didn't raise like crazy. The property values rose like crazy. So they were allocating tons of funds to like all the local governments. So the BLM and Landman, and everyone got tons of money. So they had Gravity Logic, a pretty famous trail building company out here, come out and build like wood feature jumps and wall rides and all sorts of features. And I didn't really ride it very well. It was my first time down it, and I got down it. I'm like 10th on Strava because no one rides it out here. Like, I just kind of moseyed on down, but yeah, like it's pretty awesome to see when communities get a bunch of money and they put it into their mountain biking trails.
So Sheyn, is it worth visiting? Like, is it worth going to Meeker, whatever it is?
Whatever
the Sesame Street.
Meeker.
Yeah. If you're passing through, I would say it's worth stopping and riding for like an hour or two and then moving on to your next destination. But yeah,
go there and then go somewhere else.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that on the sign as you come into
support the grocery store? No. It's just
plug the grocery store, Sheyn. Plug the grocery store.
Brought to you by Watts Ranch Market in Meeker, Colorado.
Is that the name? I would go there just to have like a picture at the front. That sounds like an amazing place.
Hey, yeah. Wait, real quickly, in case you're not watching this or did not hear the beginning segment, Sheyn, where are you currently recording from? Literal location.
Well, okay, so I'm in a hotel just like the past 2 weeks, but I'm in the bathroom.
Soundproof.
Soundproof bathroom with my comforter and towels. And,
do they use comforters as a shower curtain? The toilet.
Just give me a second.
Oh, no. That is not a soundbite. That is real life.
I was about to say this is the first podcast recorded from the can, but I'm sure that's not the case. So
yeah, that's probably not. Well, I wanted to be polite to my neighbors, so I took all my pillows and everything in here so I could talk a little bit loud instead of having to hold back.
No, I thought you pulled the pillows in there so you can sleep in there when you're done.
I'm kind of stuck in here with everything that I brought in, so
yeah.
Yeah, I'll be getting ready for bed soon.
All right, enough about Meeker, Bo Beaker. Paul the Punter, once again, I swear if you talk about cross-country riding, we were going to ban you from the podcast. What did you do this week?
You said no roadie stories in the plan.
Roadie, fine, I will allow cross-country.
It's so different. So, I did a cross-country race on Saturday, which it was 42 kilometers. I think it ended up being 1,200 meters. Which, what did we decide? Is that like 5,000 feet or something like that?
Yeah, it's 1,200 meters.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
That's like 4,200 feet.
Okay, yeah.
3,900.
Oh, okay. It's less than that then. Damn it. I normally just go, is it like 8,000 feet? And I was like, whoa, no way. That's loads. It was very good, actually, because nothing really went wrong, which might be a world first for me doing a mountain bike race.
So what did you blame your bad result on?
I was happy with my result. I came mid pack at the provincial championships, which I feel like if I say it like that, it sounds way
everyone pause. A miracle has happened. I have not said anything about excuses, and I will not, because Paul has not made an excuse on the podcast. Everybody should give a round of applause at home right now.
Yes.
Paul, I am so proud.
Yeah, it was just good. It was because I think I focused on the process of like getting ready. I didn't think about the race. And in fact, I listened to a podcast. It was like a kind of a pseudo psychology one where they had a psychologist on that had helped loads of famous people, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
It sounds like I need this help.
Josh, it's actually the Josh Peck podcast, as in Drake and Josh.
Right.
Yeah. And this guy, he's like, what he tries to train his clients to do is to make everything seem like not that big a deal. And like, that's the big thing. Because then you reduce the anxiety of it because you reduce the expectations of like doing it. So I was like, oh, it's just like, whatever. It's just a bike race. Like, no big deal. And then, I started off. I just got a new cassette actually put on my bike, which was like the best thing. I got a 50 tooth finally on the back.
Nice.
And I was going up this first climb, and I could hear people panting around me, and I was just like, yes, this is so good. I think I came mid-pack overall.
Yep.
And then I came 60% down the order in my category.
I think that we count that as mid-pack.
Yeah, only mid-pack was only 5 places in front, and that was 3 minutes, and my time was 3 hours 19 minutes.
Wow, that's a long time on a bike.
Yeah, man, it at some points it was very, very real. That's the only way I can put it. Yeah. It's just like there were some points like I did the big climb, like it kind of like goes up to a peak and then down in a way. And then when I got over that top bit, I was just like, wow, this is so hard. And I was just like, when you're just like this, like leaning on the handlebars, like, oh my God, please just get me through this. I was at that point at one point, but I did record it. I will be making a video from it. I think it's going to be pretty cool. But the weirdest thing was being held up on trails. Something that just never happened. That's never happened to me before.
Because you have so many people in front of you.
Yeah, like especially at the beginning, like there's this first trail, and it kind of turned into a bit of a conga line. But it was so funny because I was literally just like sat down riding this trail, and everyone's like, "Oh God, Jesus!" And I'm like, "This doesn't seem that hard." So I was telling people in front of me like where the lines to choose, so that we could get through a bit.
Take an inside line, please. Go quick, go right.
Yeah, do you know what's really fun?
Crikey.
Is at the big. You know what's really fun at the beginning is like trying to incite a little bit of rage in some of the people. So we're going up in this big line, but I noticed that there was a gap forming like 4 riders ahead, and this guy wasn't like keeping up with everyone else. And I was like, "Hey, let's go!" And then other people were like, "Well, we can't go anywhere."
People in their head are going, "I don't like this. I'm really mad." And then all of a sudden, some guy in the back goes, "Tell him to hurry up!" And everyone's like, "Yeah, what he said."
Yeah, but it was funny because like that happened. Like that guy did eventually pull over, and we kind of made up a bit. And then it kind of happened again on the next one. But everyone was super polite, and I was like, "No, I'm not going to try and do that again." But we got up to the top. The moment we got out of this climb, this one guy goes, "Okay, let's go now. Right, let's go." Like, open her up, pull over, let's go.
Oh my gosh.
Like 4 people pull over and then just whoosh straight through.
Do you think it was just their inexperience, or do you think some of them were beginners?
I think there was 300 people racing. And it's like it does get into a single file quite soon. So like you just have no idea, I think.
Yeah, that's destined to happen.
Yeah, but I was dying towards the end. Eating is the hardest thing, I think, on these races. Like Sheyn, you've done Ironmans.
Oh yeah.
Like the gels, at one point I did get a bit of a funny stomach. And I was like, oh, maybe I should lay off. So, and that's where I think I went wrong. I was probably eating fine, but then I was like, oh no, I should stop eating this. And then I definitely like fell into a bit of a hole, and then I got back on them and kind of came back up.
Did you eat some real food to mess up that gel stuff?
Sorry, I think it's hilarious that Sheyn is the food expert. I mean, come on, guys. It's pretty funny right now.
This guy has 2 dinners. I think he does the most amount of eating. This guy can literally eat popcorn out of a hotel ice bucket. I think he's an expert here, guys.
In the bathroom.
In 2 years.
In the bathroom.
While sitting on the toilet. In 2 years, when we have 1 million subscribers and Sheyn weighs like 400 pounds, it's going to be like, what happened to Sheyn? Going back when he started a podcast. He started eating and never stopped.
Oh man!
And we'll have fan accounts where it's like the crashing dad from 2019 to 2022.
Last week's thumbnail on the YouTube podcast is totally me. Yeah, it's me.
It's you in 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's what I need to figure out as well. Also, I'm kind of looking forward to getting a semi slick on the back. Because I've got quite big meaty tires, and I was like, "Ooh, this is a bit slow," but I didn't really care. Like I just powered on.
You did not use it as an excuse?
No, because I was happy. Wow. I was happy with my result. Like, good. That was it. I was just pleased.
You were 60% down, and the other 40% were beginners.
All right.
But hold on. If I said to you, this was the state championships, then all of a sudden it kind of sounds a little bit better, doesn't it?
It sounds like 60% of them are going to be serious.
And if you said to me it's the state championships, I'd say, how did you get in this race?
There's no qualification process.
Exactly.
Like, dude, wait for I'll put the video out on Sunday, I think. But like, wait for the actual video. You can see like the people I'm going past, they look like they know what they're doing. And that's the important thing. Actually, funny enough, okay, my final funny story from this race, because I didn't record it. We're going up this first climb, and there's a guy that's like really, really broad-shouldered, and he was like complaining about people being slow on the way up, and like he had full lycra, and he was going along at pace, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna stay behind this guy and like just pace off him and just do what he does, like, because I feel like I could go faster, but he looks like he knows what he's doing, so I should definitely follow him. Anyway, we're going up this trail. All of a sudden, he just rides into a tree.
It's me. It was me in a cross-country racer.
Just like,
he looks like he knows what he's doing and then just flies off the trail like an idiit.
But you think, it must have had a couple of turns on there, Paul. No, Josh and Sheyn, this was a straight line. It was a straight line trail. And this guy just goes, boom. Oh! And I never saw him again.
No flat tire?
Dude, he just rode into it. He must have just been like looking down or something and just rode into a tree.
Let's go.
Well, it turns out, Paul, he actually died. So you're making fun of a dead guy. Thank you.
Wow,
Paul.
Don't take it there.
I mean, it's where it wins, though.
I think I just went past it, but yeah, no, it's cool. I'm kind of now looking forward to the BC bike race, but also I was pretty tired after that. Like the next day, I was like, oh God, like I could definitely feel it. Yeah. But this week, I actually went out so I've been on a bunch of rides. I've been doing well this week. The highlight was probably yesterday. I went riding with Jesse Melamed, who for Josh. Oh, are you kidding, Sheyn?
No,
really?
No idea. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm a Joey.
He's ranked 3rd in the world for enduro.
Right now?
Right now, as of this second. Yep, you can Google him. Josh, I can actually see. So I wish I had some glasses.
And I'm going to type.
Let me just open up yahoo.com here.
We can edit those in.
Enduro World Series standing overall series winner. And literally, I kid you not, it says page not found 404. So if you Google EWS standings, you will get a page not found because no one cares.
Joshua. Come on now.
What?
Overall series. It does work. I checked like the other day. I just got one.
Martin Mays.
Florian Nikolai.
You know what? It's because when I type in EWS standing, the one I was clicking is from its overall series ranking October 1st, 2016. So out of date.
They need to work on
no one cares.
Yeah. If you stop using Alta Vista, then maybe people you may not find it. Sheyn is so pleased with that one.
Hey,
that's the best burn we've had.
I recognize some of these guys.
Sam Hill on
just
flat pedals.
Just in general. I think I know. Anyway, back to the story before this podcast is like 3 hours long.
Back to your name dropping.
Back to my name dropping. No, he's done the BC bike race. He's mega fit, right? Like we did this climb at one point. Sheyn, this is just for you. We did this climb, and I was like, that was pretty hard. And I saw his heart rate on his computer, and it was like 70 beats per minute. I was like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, that's it. That's crazy. He must have just been like, so slow. But yeah, he gave me some tips for the bike race. Made a video. And one of the things he said was just like, eat until you can eat no more. That was his advice. I was like, so how much were you eating? Like on the morning, like I'd have a bowl of oatmeal, an omelet, a selection of fruit, some yogurt. And he said that you just fill yourself up. So you're
some what? Some gogurt? What's a gogurt?
Sorry. Some yogurt. I'm so sorry, Sheyn. I've got to speak much louder because I'm American. Yogurt.
Hey, Paul, you can make fun of us for speaking louder. At least people can understand us.
Yeah. Sorry, so you're going to be eating a crap ton. I'm just thinking about you're in this race in the middle of nowhere. Where are you going to poop? How often do you have to? Because
currently 3 times a day.
What in the world?
Well, what about during the race? You gotta think about this.
It just stops when I go mountain biking. Everything cuts off and just stops. But
everything just like sucks up into your body.
So here's the thing. I actually think I'm too fat for the race. I can't. I feel like by now I should have like slimmed down a bit, but I think I've just been I've just been constantly overeating.
I was going to say something, so I'm happy that you spoke up first about your size.
Oh, good. Because I had a like normally when I'm walking around, I feel like I'm normal, okay. But then I saw this one picture. I'll have to. Unfortunately, I should have put it in the doc. It's probably coming a little bit too late. But like I'm looking at it, it's like, what the hell? Am I fat? I go and look at myself. Hold on, this doesn't make sense. I'm running like 5 times a week. Like this makes no sense. But it must have just been bad lighting. So I am gonna do like a how much weight did I lose after 7 days of mountain biking video.
Paul gains 15 pounds.
Shit. Burnt 5,000 calories a day. 8,000.
And what happens when you don't poop during the BC bike race?
Well, yeah, I haven't had any bad repercussions from the gels, actually. That was a plus point. So Josh, you're not an athletic person. So gels kind of generally give you poor digestion issues if you consume them.
Yeah. Cool.
So, yeah.
And then if you're like me, you'll walk out of the trail only wearing one sock.
That is hilarious. So comment down below. Paul said I'm not athletic. Who do you think is more athletic, me or Paul the punter? Thank you.
I've got to say that was a fantastic radio voice.
Oh, thanks, Paul.
Yeah, it's just because you were so mean to me last week, Josh.
You know,
I feel like this is much more balanced this week.
My wife did bring it up. She said, "You know, this podcast kind of seems like Paul and Josh just hate each other." And then you're kind of there. That's why I was like, okay, I'm taking the reins this week. I'm going to bring them into line.
Kind of our friendship, you know, it's just kind of how it's a love, hate, and
so much hate.
And some disliking. Yeah.
Yeah. We're like brothers. We stick with it.
I do actually say the only thing I want to do this year is go on a road trip with Josh. How many times do I message you, Josh, saying like, have you figured it out yet now? Have you figured it out?
Figured out that I have a family responsibilities and you still don't, and I would love to join you, though I can't.
What if I paid for one next month?
I would say yes immediately. Who's our sponsor? Brought to you by Paul the Punter.
I might have something in the works. We'll talk. You'd have to be the plan B though, because I've got a really good idea for the plan A. But plan B
hasn't been the first time someone's told me that. I ended up getting married from it though.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm the plan B. There was another good-looking guy, you know, but he didn't work out. So.
Oh, okay.
Oh, got it. Yeah, I thought it was the other way around.
Yep. Okay.
Like, no. Guys, look at how I look. I am always someone's plan B.
you're just that emoji that's like this.
Yeah.
Just stood over in the corner with the hands like to the side, like, well.
Yeah.
Shall we?
In the mountain bike world, everyone's like, man, I really want to go on a ride with somebody who's like friendly and fun and good at riding. Nobody can make it. Well, there's always Josh.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Sheyn.
Yeah.
I've just had a thought.
Yes.
What was your first mountain bike ride ever?
Oh, that was a good segue. Well,
an off-road segue.
That was not a segue.
Hold on.
I know,
Speaking of segue, I don't know if I mentioned this before.
You have a segue, Paul? You never told us,
Josh. So,
I'm so excited to ride it.
You know the off-road Segway. The inventor of the Segway, died riding the off-road Segway. He fell off the side of a cliff. It was during a demonstration trying to prove how safe it was.
No.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. No, oh my goodness.
Well, if he died, oh no. Such a bummer.
It's the most ironic death of all time, I believe.
The worst part, this is going to sound really bad, but all I can think about hearing that is it you? Is it me?
Oh, sad.
Okay, moving on. So your first bike ride, Sheyn.
Oh, mine was about 2.5 years ago, and it was on a trail called Horse Thief's Bench. If you haven't heard of it,
Josh? Have you ever seen these videos of him riding Horse Thief Bench?
Oh, I think I have. Yeah.
It's basically my new channel name because all of my videos
are on Horse Thief Bench. Are you sponsored by this location?
Are you sponsored by the Horse Thief Bench?
Brought to you by.
I don't know what bench was.
I rented bikes with a friend, and we went out and did Horse Thief's Bench. We got horribly lost in the desert. We were at like 4 hours, and we look at the map that we finally find, and there's this trail that was like, oh, this is the most direct way back on this map, and it's called More Fun. We're looking at, oh, okay, we'll go. And it is world renowned, well, maybe Colorado renowned for being like the most technical trail. So we ended up basically walking the whole thing because we weren't very experienced on our first ride. We ran out of water. We, all dehydrated, everything. So that was my welcome to mountain biking. After that, I got like a huge 15-liter Camelback. Oh, I shouldn't say the brand name. I got a huge 15-liter backpack with water in it.
Generic water bladder.
Yeah, generic water bladder, and I could hold like 4 liters of water. And I was packing like a water filter and emergency blanket and matches. And so there was a while there after my first ride out in Horse Thief's Bench where I was packing around like a 20-pound pack. What is that? 40 kilos. Yeah. I had everything in there.
Don't worry, I know how much 20 pounds is. It's
40,000 kilogram meters. Anyway.
Yeah.
So Sheyn, after that ride and that experience of having to walk down the trail, you still got the mountain bike bug?
The thing is in the moment, and I know
Josh, you went and started doing Ironmans, didn't you? Haven't you?
Yeah. The mountain biking is so different than just grinding and endurance.
Oh yeah, I mean, we had a lot of fun, but like towards the end there, in the moment, I was like, I never want to do this again. I don't want to see bikes again. I am done. But then once you get to the car and you get the Gatorade in you and protein shake, whatever, like I was hooked. I was like, I'm doing this every single day for the rest of my life if I can. 3 times a week, 100% of the time.
Literally 60% of the time, all the time.
All the time. Yeah, that was me.
This is another man who has exited the terrible life of road riding and triathlons in order to find a new life in mountain biking.
We're not
right
trying to
after
start
that.
a cult here, Josh.
Right after that, I went on like a road ride right after that because I was a roadie, and I got clipped by like a truck mirror, how they stick out super wide like ears. And I crashed, and it was just like, as dangerous as mountain biking is, I can at least choose the danger level. So I haven't touched the road bike since.
That is true. My first bike ride. We can talk about my first bike ride, I guess, back after because I did it all through childhood up to university.
Yeah.
And then I started again in 2011, I think was the first ride. And I was like, I went on with, he was one of the journalists of the website, of the publishers I work with, and he managed to get me a bike to ride. And I was like, mountain biking, yeah, I can freaking mountain bike, don't you worry. And I was like, I better get clips. I better get clips because we're doing cross country mountain biking, and yep. And I had all like Camelback, like everything. I was like, yeah, I completely know what I'm doing. What I had no idea what we're doing is just riding trails and general fitness, because the 2 people I was with were animals, it turned out. Anyway, we got to the top of the first trail, and I was like, yeah, okay, can't wait. And they're like, yeah, it's just through here, follow. I was like, yeah, okay. I went to drop in and just went, oh my life. I just pretty much went skid, walk, try again, skid, walk. This trail is probably like 20, 30 seconds long. I must have taken like 7-8 minutes.
Wow. That's kind of a dick move on their part, though.
But I was like, oh yeah, I used to mountain bike loads. Like I did that thing. It's like, yeah. And it was like, Surrey Hills. Yeah, I've been mountain biking there. Don't worry.
Yeah, I know the guy that's ranked 3rd in EWS. And
he literally coached me, so I'm ready. Yeah.
Don't worry, guys.
I forgot his name already.
Yeah, that was my first, that was my return. It was that kind of ride.
But wait, did you catch the bug after that ride, Paul?
Oh, I had no choice. I think I'd already decided to enter the mega avalanche. and I hadn't even been on a mountain bike.
Really?
Yeah. I actually, so before YouTube and everything, I had a video series on the Dirt website. It was called Diary of a Desk Jockey. That's what it was. But it was on the Empora player, which is no longer, and so that all those videos don't exist.
Oh, but I was just Googling it.
Don't even. You can't find anything. None of it exists.
Meg Avalanche.
Challenge
Diary
accepted.
of a Desk Jockey.
I know it's not there. They deleted Empora. So.
Paul Haysom sits at a desk selling adverts for factory media.
That's the Dirt article.
And there's a picture of you. Oh, I wish everyone could see this picture.
Wait, what do I need to Google? Everybody at home, here's what you need to Google.
You're kind of chubby.
Sheyn, tell us what it is.
I was.
Oh, I Googled.
He looked like me.
Oh, come on.
Just do Diary of a Desk Jockey. And then Paul Haysom. Just search that.
Meg Avalanche. Is it Meg Avalanche or Meg Avalanche?
It's technically French, so it's Meg Avalanche.
Meg Avalanche.
Yeah.
Dude, that's pretty cool. It's sad that the videos no longer exist.
Yeah, can I tell you why? So the best thing in the world happened on the final episode. So you had to qualify for the main race, and I was just like, I hope I can qualify.
What's Empora? That's what I want to know. Anyway, you hope
that was like anyway. We'll not get into that. That's a whole other day. So in the last day, I was just like, I just hope I qualify. And then I managed to get like a front row placing for the qualification, which is like a big deal. And then I was like challenging on, and then I was actually keeping up with a friend who actually did he make it? No, he made it into the second race, which I would have been like amazingly stoked to get into. But then this guy like T-boned me from the side, and I flew, banged my head, everything, and then like the whole field came past basically while I was rolling around on the floor. But in that race, oh god, who am I speaking to again? Loic Bruni, guys.
Oh yeah, he just recently won, right?
Yes.
Is he in the Rainbow Stripes?
He is in the Rainbow Stripes. Yes,
I know the Rainbow Stripes.
Shane. Josh, he's a multiple-time world champion of downhill mountain biking. Okay, cool.
He rides a 29er.
Cool. Oh, cool. Oh, yeah.
He rides a mullet bike.
Oh, cool. It has a 29 on it. I'm down.
29 front, 27.5 rear. Anyway. Now they have lots of heats, right? Now I'm coming down, and then I'm almost near the end. I'm like dying, and I just hear this French like blah, 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 behind me, and this guy passed me on the inside, and it was Loic Bruni. He was like in another heat, but he'd like smashed his bike, like his derailleur was hanging off. He had no saddle, everything. He was just trying to get down to the bottom, right?
Wow.
And he passed me, and I was like, oh, cool, riding behind, because he was a junior world champion at this time. And we got to the end, and you kind of finished with this kind of square, like finish line. You kind of went round, and then you got your time. Mm-hmm. And as I came down, I saw him like scooting. So I just completely buried myself and sprinted all the way around and passed Loic Bruni on the line and got my time.
Wow.
Cool.
What, did he lose his chain, or what was he?
He lost everything. He lost his derailleur, his saddle. He wasn't even in the same heat as me. But at the same time, I did beat him down the mountain.
This just in, Paul is better than a professional on the equivalent of a unicycle and a broken leg.
There we go. Yeah, no, I was gutted that those videos kind of went. A lot of them were crap, but that last one was like quite a fun memory.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's too much about me.
I want to hear about Josh's first mountain bike ride.
Yeah, so my first mountain bike ride, to make a long story short, I was at dinner with a couple of friends and their wives, and they like randomly, like halfway through dinner.
Where is this going?
This is not one of those stories.
We put all our keys in a bowl.
I hear them being like, "Oh, cool. I'll see you tomorrow." And I was like, "Oh, like what are you guys doing tomorrow?" And they kind of look at me like, we're going mountain biking." I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Like, can I join?" And they're like,
all right.
They're like, do you have a mountain bike? And I'm like, yeah, my dad has one. Like, it's like a hardtail that has disc brakes. And so they're like, okay. And they went to Duthie Hill. That's where we went. My first official mountain bike ride. And so I brought my dad's bike, and they both had like full suspension bikes. One of them had worked at a bike shop. The other one had just gotten like super into it. And so I thought, I'm going to be terrible. These guys are going to be great. Well, it turns out all my childhood growing up on motorcycles and like doing bike jumps on my BMX bike made it so I'm like, oh, cool, like a 4-foot drop. I'll try it. Like, once again, my people don't realize this about me. Most people, their skill exceeds their like confidence level. Mine's polar opposite. My confidence is through the roof and my skill is at the floor. So I do everything. And if I survive, I'm like, well, I guess I can do it again now. Right.
You know, I think most people do know this about you.
Yeah, it's true. So taking my hardtail on crabapple, I'm like, well, I didn't do the last one. Probably should have. People are like, you probably shouldn't have actually touched those at all. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Anyway. Yeah. So I went riding with these guys. I actually had a great time, and they weren't that experienced. The one guy had been getting into it. The other guy who worked at a bike shop, hadn't ridden in a long time. And about 2/3 through the day of what our ride was going to be, my one friend Justin, we were doing this like step up that wasn't that big, but we're like, dude, you just got to let go of the brakes. Like, he was struggling, and so he let off the brakes, like pressed into the jump, totally put his toes down, rotated forward, and I watched a guy land with all of his weight directly on the front of his face.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, and we were both like, I literally was like, he's gonna be bleeding, like I need to call 911. He just was bleeding on his chin, but he got concussed bad. Like, we were like walking him out of the trail, and he was like, oh, look, a pretty leaf. And me and my other friend looking at each other like, what in the world? Anyway, Justin turned out to be fine, but I got home that night and I was like, that was the coolest thing I've done in so long. I've got to do whatever I can to get back into that. And I just went that was a handful of years ago. I stopped mountain biking for a bit when I lived in Arizona, and then 3 years ago, got back into it.
So he doesn't remember that it was you that told him, just let go of the brakes, you'll be just fine.
Oh, we all remember. And Justin, who that was his name, who had that happen, never rode again. He sold his bike. Yeah, and he has not mountain biked since.
Oh, that is sad.
I should like make a video about, this is totally off topic. I should make a video like, the guy who got me into mountain biking quit. I'm going to get him back into it.
That's a good, that would be great. And you just go around and you like knock on his door. He opens the door and goes, no. And just shuts it again. And you're like, hello, it's Josh.
No, what?
Like, the letterbox out. I know who it is. Go away.
No, what's funny is like, that is Justin's personality. Like, no joke. He'd be like,
really?
No, I know what you want. I know you make YouTube videos now. I know I introduce you. We're not doing this. And I'd be like, Justin, you have to. It would be perfect.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, gents, I think it's time to wrap this up. Maybe with a solid professional outro.
Okay, that's it. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Just do one more last like reminding of everyone to do stuff.
This outro is this podcast is brought to you by everyone that is going to comment on this week's YouTube video, and everyone who has given us 5 stars on the Apple Podcasts. Go do it now. Like that smash button. Thanks for tuning into us. Thanks for tuning into us while we blab about the most interesting things you'll listen to this week. This is the Joey Podcast signing off.
That's it.
Bye.
Bye.